So, welcome to chapter 14. Lots of different things in this chapter, and we'll break them out bit by bit. There's I stem nouns. And then you learn three ablatives. The ablative of means, the ablative of manner, and the ablative of accompaniment. There is a reason why I stem nouns and the ablatives that go together in this chapter, and we'll get to it. It's not that deep. It's not that important at the moment, but it is natural to put them in this chapter together. Let's talk about I stem nouns. Specifically, I stem nouns. What does that mean? I stem nouns. In short, like English, Latin does something funny with the letter I. What do we have? What rules do we have? Well, we have one big one that I can think of. I before E except after C. And sounded as A as in neighbor and way. Something like that. I before E except after C. That's the one everybody knows. What's the reason behind it? What's the logic? How do you know? I don't know the origin of this. I don't know why English words formed in this manner. You know what I mean? I don't know how it happened, but yet it's a rule that we all know and have to learn as speakers of English. And get this, how would you convey that to somebody that speaks Latin or any other language? That's just a weird rule to have to explain. That's the position I'm in today. I'm having to explain to you why in Latin certain words, they throw an I in there. Seemingly random. So, I stem nouns in the masculine, and I'll cut to the chase right here, masculine and feminine, and then neuter. Let's refresh our memory. What are the standard endings? Standard endings for the third declension. In other words, can you decline a third declension noun? Let's look at rex regis. Rex, regis, regi, regem, rege, reges, regum, regibus, reges, regibus. Got it? In other words, our ending for the masculine and feminine is, I put a blank for the nominative, is, e, m, a, s, ibis, s, ibis. These are our standard third declension endings for masculine and feminine. Let's look at the neuter. A neuter noun. Standard. Third declension. Corpus, corporis, corpori, corporem, corpus, my mistake. Oh goodness, I got carried away there. Let's fix that. In the neuter, the nominative and the accusative is always the same. Corpore, corpora, corporum, corporibus, corpora, corporibus. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, if you can't do this, if this isn't second nature to you, go practice. Go practice. Here are the endings. Is, e, and I leave the blank there because it's the same as the nominative. A. I say A, it's the letter E, pronounced A. Ibis, ibis. These are your neuter endings. With an I stem noun, they throw an I in there. Practically, but let's look at them. Let's go with your standard, in the masculine and feminine. Masculine and feminine, we just went over them. Is, e, em, a, s, ibis, s, ibis, okay? For I stem nouns, these are standard. I stem nouns, is, e, m, a, s, eum, ibis, s, ibis. Right here in the genitive plural, I-U-M. For the masculine and the feminine, that is the only difference in an I stem. So yes, I'm spending a whole chapter to tell you that certain words in Latin, based on certain rules, add an I in the genitive plural with masculine and feminine nouns. Neuter's a little more complicated. Let's get to that. Neuter. We just said blank, is, e, blank, a. It's not really blank, but you know the nominative and the accusative are same. That's what I mean by that. When I say blank, I don't really mean the word is blank. It doesn't exist. I just mean that ending is the same, whatever it is. Ibis, ibis. In the masculine, in the neuter I stem nouns, is, e, I, ia, ium, ibis, ia, ibis. In other words, the neuter throws in I's in a couple different places. It does have the usual, the IUM, just like in the masculine and feminine, but it's got 3 other places too. That's it. All we have to know now is when to throw in that extra I. How are we supposed to know when to throw in that I? Well, let's look at it. There are a couple different rules. Number 1, with masculine and feminine, there's a rule called parasyllabic. Meaning equal number of syllables. Equal syllables. In the nominative and the genitive. Rex, regis. Rex, 1 syllable. Regis, that's 2 syllables. That's not I stem. That's 1 word right there. Hostess, hostess. Oh, there's a Latin word. That is I stem. So, in other words, rex, regis, masculine versus hostess, hostess, masculine. Rex regis is not I stem. Hostess, hostess is. Based on the fact that the nominative, and it's a little more complicated, the nominative ends in an IS, and the nominative in the genitive has the same number of syllables. I can't think of an exception that doesn't follow that. We may run across them, but what does this mean? What does this mean? This means the genitive plural ends in an IUM. That's it. That's the only difference in these 2 words, is that because we have identified one based on the parasyllabic rule as having it's that I before E except after C. You just have to memorize it. Parasyllabic, great. That means I put an IUM in the genitive. That's it. Seems fairly random. I admit that. Your book has a couple other examples like nawis, feminine, and moles, feminine. This chapter is chock full of them. You can figure those out. Another rule is what we call the base is in 2 consonants. Base with 2 consonants. consonants. Let's go back to rex, regis, masculine. We're not held to the parasyllabic rule, so this is a candidate, but the stem, the base, doesn't have two consonants. Compare nox, noctis. Okay? That, the base, in other words, let's take the stem here. R-E-G is your stem or your base. N-O-C-T is your stem or the base. Two consonants, one consonant, two, one. That's it. This, whoa, wrong one, wrong color. Bear with me. This is not I stem. This one is. What is the basis of that? The stem ends in two consonants. A corollary to that is the nominative ends in an X or S or X. But really, I can't think of examples where there's mixing and matching like this, where you would have the, I think, I can't think of a word that has two consonants in the base and has a different letter other than S or X. It doesn't matter. Again, what does all this mean? It just means there's an IUM in the genitive plural. That's it. That's it. The rule for neuters is a little different. Neuter I stems, if the nominative singular ends in an AL, AR, or E. That's it. For example, corpus, corporis. Neuter. Does that end in AL, AR, or E? No. What about animal? Huh. Animal. Animalis. Neuter. Does the nominative end in AL, AR, AE? Yes. Exemplar. Exemplaris. Neuter. Does that end in an AR, AL, or E? Yes. That's all it is. What does this mean for the neuters? That means that the nominative, let's keep it in order. The ablative singular ends in an I. The nominative plural ends in an IA. And the genitive plural ends in an IUM. And the accusative plural equals IA. And remember, the nominative and the accusative are always going to be the same anyway. That's it. That's all it means for these words. The rule for I stem just means you're going to throw in an extra I in certain places. And this rule for neuter, AL, AR, E, seems fairly random. I would agree with you. It's just something to memorize. Let's look at these in a different way. So, some quick rules here. Parasyllabic. Two syllables ending in ES or IS or ES applies to masculine or feminine. Talked about that. Hostess, hostess. Well, I have some examples. Monosyllabics, but the double consonant rule. Stem ends in two consonants. And the neuter, the nominative ends in AL, AR, or E. These are your rules. These are your only rules here for I stem nouns. I before E except before C. I before E except after C. That's the rule we have. Fairly simple in English, just quirky. This one has a few more complicated rules, but the end result is not that complicated. For example, kinnis, kinneris. Is that an I stem noun? No, it's not parasyllabic. Collis, collis. Is that an I stem noun? Yes, because collis, collis, parasyllabic. Crinnis, crinnis, same thing. Ensis, ensis, same thing. Fascis, fascis, same thing. Lapis, lapidus. No, it is not parasyllabic. Para meaning equal, parasyllabic, no. Unguis, unguis. Yes, it is I stem. Sanguis, sanguinis. No. Sanguis has two syllables. Sanguinis has three. So there you have it. Callus, callus, crinus, crinus, ensis, ensis, fascus, fascus, unguis, unguis. All those are I stem. And what does that mean? That just means the nominative, the genitive plural ends in IUM. That's all it means. How about these? Fulgur, fulgurus. These are neuter, but it doesn't end in AR, AL, AR, or E, so it's no. Calcar, calcaris, yes. Ends in an AL, AR, or E, that is I stem. Eubar, eubaris, yes. Classis, classis. It's feminine, so we have to go to the parasyllabic rule. Yes, it is I stem. Flumen, fluminis. Nope, not I stem. Pulvinar, pulvinaris. Yes, it's neuter, and it ends in an AL, AE. ALARE, opus operis, no, but yet exemplar, exemplaris is. In other words, let's review these. The calcar, eubar, pulvinar, and exemplar, those are all I stem because the nominative ends in an AL, AR, or E, and they're neuter. What does this mean? It means that the ablative singular will have an I, the nominative and accusative plural end in IA, and the genitive plural IUM. Had enough? No! Ignis, ignis! Yes, parasyllabic. Danes dentis. We haven't run into these yet in the words, but Danes dentis is because it's the stem, the base ends in two consonants. Civitas, civitatis, nope. Rex regis, we already talked about, nope. Erps, urbis, yes. It's two consonant stem. And it is feminine, so that just means the genitive plural ends in an IUM. Gains, gentis, yes. Two consonants, the two consonants rule in stem. And genus, genuis, no, it's neuter, so it only needs AL, AR, or E. And there you have those. Let me know if you have questions. I'll issue a part 2 that talks about ablative cases. Have a great day.